What's going on, guys? Play Gaming here, back with another Epic 7 video, and today we're taking a look at Hell Mode Elisia of the Ice, the new Advent side story. And this one, I'm not sure how I feel about it. So we can definitely auto. However, is this something that's new player friendly? No, not so much. It's definitely going to take some units. The first phase here, you want to bring AoE to clear those ads. You want to make sure that you clear them out as fast as possible. Don't bring Daydream Joker, AoE DPS, clear those crystals. The boss has immunity, so you don't have to worry about debuffing. You just gotta get it down to that 70% mark. Focus and Fighting Spirit is disabled, so probably not Rylet or Landy. You might be able to bring, you don't have these units, like Vivian, Bellona, Vildred, Pavel, Ludwig even. I brought in Champ Z for that defense break, and then just AoE damage and try to DPS as much as I can. Phase 2 here, just make sure that you have buffs up at least 2 or more. Otherwise, Elisia there is going to do big damage. She's going to get like a 30% damage increase. So you might want to bring if you can't bring 2 DPS and a Soul Weaver, you can definitely do something like I did. I'm cheesing it here, 2 Soul Weavers and Landy, calling it a day there. But what you might be able to do is actually sub in another DPS in there. You could potentially even like one shot if you can defense break in there, but my gear is not at that level, so I'm just kind of cheesing it. Diane is amazing here because of her buffs, and she speeds through everything. Rowana is really good here because of the counters and the double attacks and all that crazy stuff that Elisia puts out. So you're getting CR, you're getting healing. If you don't have DN, because I know she is a limited unit, you can definitely go with like Doris, maybe even Rin. She always gives a lot of buffs on your team, so you can always just kind of use that strategy like double Soul Weaver DPS unit. I would highly recommend that you try to bring in at least 2 grass units for each of these levels, just so that you can get those bonuses to your attack and all that good stuff. And it's definitely going to make clearing each stage a lot easier if you're bringing in grass units. On this third stage, you'll see that I brought in Charles. I turned off his skill 3 just because you don't want to bring AoE here. She actually mitigates 90% of the damage, and then she counters. So if you hit her with an AoE, she mitigates 90% of that, and then AoE counters and then strips all your buffs and pushes you back. So it's insane. Just make sure that you try to bring in units that don't have debuffs on their S1. Charles has, I think, like attack break, but I mean, it is what it is. These are the units that I have built, and you'll see in a little bit when I show you their stats, they're not built at all for this boss. Daydream Joker does work here, so you can definitely slap on DDJ to your DPS. My only DPS here is Charles. I have been testing out Violet. Violet also works really well just because he counters. And one thing to also remember is that if, like, let's say for example, you bring in Flurry here, she actually hits her with the defense break, but if you don't crit whenever Elisia has a debuff, then she cleanses. So it's something to keep in mind, maybe if you're like speed tuning or something. But idea here is 2 DPS, 1 Soul Weaver. Momo, actually, if you notice, she is resisting the injury set. So you do get inflicted injury. Now I don't know if it's just because her effect resistance is so high, or if it's a bug. Maybe they'll fix that later on. But yeah, you can definitely cheese it with Momo there if you have her effect resist very high. I think my Momo here is like 240 effect resist, something like that. So it's definitely doable. So Helga could potentially be really good here, and in stage 2, Sid, maybe even like top model Luluka. I don't have her, she is an ML unit, but we did try Charles on Elbrus. I don't think he procced much at all, but Elbrus is only plus 15 here. So it's one of those things to consider. I think the best success that I've had so far has been with Violet and him just countering like crazy. Now, of course, both units are RNG, so it's something to like really keep in mind. All right, so here's that clear that I mentioned to you with Violet. This is still on Hell mode. Same units, except instead of Charles, I just subbed in Violet. I think this might be a bit faster of a clear, but again, it just really depends on whatever you have on hand. I haven't been able to clear Epic Hell. That stage is really insane. That's why I mentioned new players. I think you should be able to clear hard if you have at least 6 decently geared units. And then you can kind of sub in whoever else. But for Hell, I think you really do need at least 6 grass units just to put 2 on each. But if you're attempting Hell mode, I would say you're probably like mid-game, end game player. So it's just something to keep in mind. She is a very difficult boss. And then if you do end up having the chance to clear Hell, it's the only place that you can actually get these white snake fangs. And we're going to talk about those. So the white snake fangs you actually need in order to buy specific items from the exchange shop. And so you get crystals. So you get these white snake crystals from the first 2 stages, which are hard and Hell. So that's why I'm farming Hell right now. You get them from the first 2. We get 138, I believe, from clearing Hell with a pet. So just keep in mind to select your pet if you're doing your runs. But we did some just basic math here. So you can actually, I guess the goal would be to buy everything from the shop, right? So you're going to buy everything all the way down up until you get to these frosty ice connections. Everything after the frosty ice connection requires these white snake fangs. And so the only way to get these is to farm that epic Hell, right? The epic Hell mode, the 3rd stage. The other way that you can get these white snake fangs is by exchanging the crystals or the snake scales. I'm calling them crystals, to exchange these for white snake fangs. Now you can only buy 10 of these. So you're actually going to be limited to what you can buy from this menu below. So 100% sure your priority number 1 should be to buy all 4 light connection bookmarks. You do get 1 from the reputation, so that gives you 5. That gives you a chance at a free, almost a free ML 5-star. And again, it's a chance at a 5-star ML, right? Light ML 5. After that, you'll have 6 of these snake fangs left. I would say 100% number 2 should be priority, these speed modification gems. And then after that, you can kind of pick up whatever 2 gems you might need. Like for me, it might be like counter and attack or something like that. But these are just going to be up to you. I would say probably the top 3, or maybe these 3 here, just whatever you need. But a little bit of math here. We did calculate how many of these scales you need in order to buy out the entire shop. So let me pull up my notes here. So if we're running Hell mode, it's going to give us 138 crystals with pets. If we wanted to buy everything all the way up until those ML5 or ML5, no, let me correct myself. Those light connection bookmarks, it's going to cost us 14,060 of these scales. And so that if we don't take into consideration the first clear of Hell mode, it's 2,448 of those scales. And that equates to about 102 runs of Hell mode. But I believe when you do clear Hell mode, the first time you get a bonus, I think, of like 400 or 500 scales. So if we take that into consideration, it's like 2,000 scales that you need in order to buy out the entire shop. So it's like 83 runs. So it's something to keep in mind. From the reputation, you also get a few different gems here. The last one, of course, you want that Mola. So you want to do at least those 60 clears so you can get that that final completion reward, which is that light connection bookmark. But that's going to be it for me. Let me know your thoughts about Elisia of the Ice, this new Advent side story. What do you think? Have you attempted Epic Hell? I think that one, I don't know if I'll be able to do that right now, as free-to-play my gear isn't insane. I know some people's gear is really insane and they've already cleared epic hell, but if you have any strategies you'd like to share with everyone else on how you're clearing regular hell mode or even epic hell, let us know in the comment section below. Like always, if you happen to enjoy the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hey, think about subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who like content like this. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.